I'm here with Tony Ryan, the Director of Marketing at Ignatius Press, and we've spoken to you on the phone many times, but now in real life. This is great. Thanks for being with us.
Bonnie, thanks for having me. It's good to be here with you in person.
Good. So you have an exciting time at Ignatius coming up, a 40th anniversary. Tell us about that and what's planned.
Thank you. So Ignatius Press started 40 years ago, as you say, and we're celebrating that this year. We're based in San Francisco, so we are going to have a big celebration Friday, November 2nd, Saturday, November 3rd at St. Mary's Cathedral. We're going to have a special dinner on Friday night. The Archbishop of San Francisco, Salvador Corleone, is going to kind of host it. Father Joseph Fessio will speak, as well as Cardinal Francis Arinze, the great African prelate. Then Saturday, all day at the cathedral, we'll have a conference, and we've invited some of our most popular longtime authors to speak. And that will include Peter Kraft, prolific author from Boston College, out your way.
You have to get Boston in there. It has to be.
Got to be, yeah. We're Catholics. You got to have Boston. And Kraft will speak on a book he wrote a couple years ago, How to Be Holy. Then we will have Stephen Ray, a popular Catholic convert. You know Steve Ray did the Footprints of God series. He's going to give a talk on St. John, the master theologian and storyteller. Then we'll have the great novelist from Canada, Michael O'Brien, who wrote Father Elijah, of course, and many other popular novels from Ignatius Press, speaking on the true story, telling the true story of man. And then Father Robert Spitzer, the great Jesuit priest, who is with the Magis Institute for Faith and Reason. Now he was the president of Gonzaga. He's going to speak on the suffering and the love of God. And then Father Fessio, as I mentioned, will speak both at the dinner and at the event on Saturday. He'll close it with a talk on the subject of the aim of life is appreciation and gratitude.
Wow.
So those are some of the topics and speakers we're going to have to celebrate our 40th anniversary.
Sure, that's amazing, and just a few of your authors that you've had over your 40-year history, and all ones that we're very familiar with. You know, publishing in general, never mind Catholic publishing, struggles now at times, but yet everyone's hungry for this truth. And in particular, the authors that you mentioned, whether it be Stephen Ray in video or authors such as Father Spitzer, who's dynamic, Dr. Kraft, sure. So how do we keep that going, and how do you sustain this over a 40-year impressive time?
Well, I mean, first of all, obviously with the grace of God. I mean, Ignatius Press was founded by a great Jesuit, a loyal Jesuit priest, a true son of the church, Father Fessio. And just to tell you a quick summary of our history, in 1978, when he founded Ignatius Press, he had only been back from Rome not many years. He went over to Rome as a young Jesuit to get his PhD, his doctorate in theology. He was there for 6 years, and when he was there, he studied under and was kind of mentored by three of the greatest theologians of the 20th century. Joseph Ratzinger, who became Pope Benedict XVI, Henry de Lubac, the great Jesuit theologian, and this great Swiss theologian Hans Urs von Balthasar. So he was under the tutelage of those men for 6 years, and he realized that the works of those men were not really available in English, and he realized the importance of their works for the church. So he thought, when I go back to the USA, wherever the Jesuits send me, I want to see if I can start a publishing house to make their works available. It's just something he would do on his own, raise money, and this is how great Jesuits think, right? He didn't know if he could do it. And so he went to the University of San Francisco to teach, and he started raising money, and so he started finding translators to make their works available. So that was the first thing that he wanted to do. And those are not going to be best-selling books. Those are kind of heavyweight theological, philosophical works. But by the grace of God, he did it, and those books sold well enough so that then, as we moved ahead, we started publishing more popular works, Peter Kraft, Stephen Ray, Michael O'Brien, and many other authors on all kinds of topics: prayer, spirituality, catechetics, apologetics, lives of the saints, novels. Even then we've gotten into children's books. We have a whole line of children's books that we do now with Magnificat. And then we do films, and we started getting into films, licensing films that were made in Europe, then producing some of our own films like Footprints of God with Stephen Ray. And so that's how we've kind of been blessed by God to keep going, is kind of widening our scope of publishing to kind of reach out to the whole Catholic spectrum of needs out there for all ages. And then, of course, you have to adapt to the culture. So when ebooks came along, we now do ebooks, of course. So we're involved with the whole digital world. Our films are streamed. We have a platform with forum.org with Augustine Institute. We've partnered with them. So that's how we are trying to continue to keep this ministry growing. And then, of course, with Catholic stores like we have here, we do everything we can to support the whole Catholic store market. They're out there in the trenches. And then with media, like with you, with Catholic TV, we try to work with radio, with television. So that's kind of the way we try to make it happen.
Yeah, so from Father Fessio's innovative idea to bring those wonderful works into the English language, you've continued that history over the 40 years, adapting to new media and making the truth available in whatever media that people need. It's a true means of the new evangelization.
Exactly. Yeah, the new evangelization is really about, there's nothing new in terms of what we're teaching, but it's the methods, like you're doing with Catholic TV. And you have to adapt to that, and you have to take advantage of it. I mean, you remember Maximilian Kolbe, way back in the early 20th century, he started this incredible place called Marytown, Niepokalanów in Poland. And he wanted to use the best means of communication at that time to spread the gospel. And, he had the best printing presses, and, he had like a little city there that he built. And people would say, well, what would St. Francis say if he came in and found you had all this incredibly expensive equipment? And he said, St. Francis would roll up his sleeves and say, let's get to work here. We're promoting the gospel. Let's use the best means available, just like you're doing here.
It's definitely a corporal work of mercy and of education for all of us. I can't congratulate you enough for 40 years. That's tremendous, tremendous achievement. We'll be praying for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I want to just invite your listeners, if they want to join us, November 2nd, November 3rd in San Francisco, St. Mary's Cathedral. If they want to find out more, they can go to our website, ignatius.com/40. That's all the information to find out about our 40th anniversary, ignatius.com/40, and tickets and everything else, all the information is available there.
Great. Thanks so much for being with us, Tony.